Hello everybody and welcome to TEARED. My name is Bongseni, your favorite host. If you're joining us for the first time, this is an educational show that seeks to answer a big question: why our guests and inspirational people in education do what they do. Why do they invest their time and resources in communicating and creating great things in education and supporting us with educational matters? Today's show is no different. We are joined by the incredible educationist in South Africa, Mr. Mhlanga, who currently serves as the Chief Director in Media Liaison in National and Provincial Communications at the Department of Basic Education. Mr. Mhlanga, welcome to TED.
Thank you so much. Good to be here.
I must say, I'm really inspired by the work that you do, and a lot of people see you from afar, like what you do. But today it's such an honor for me to sit down and get to unpack, excuse the pun, what you're all about and where this journey started. For those that don't know, who is Elijah Mhlanga?
Well, it's Elijah, born in Bushbuckridge in Mhlanga, and I am one of 7 children. And both parents deceased, and I'm born of teachers. I'm saying I'm born of teachers because I was raised by teachers. My mother never really went that far in terms of school.
Yes.
My father the same, but about 4 members of my family were teachers.
Wow.
So I grew up in that environment. But as you know, in the village, everyone is a teacher or a police officer or a nurse.
Yes.
So education is something that I was always in, but I never thought that I would be doing it in this way. I remember that I had a big fight with my family when I refused to become a teacher, and that became a big issue for a very long time. In fact, it got quite serious.
Sure. Like they wanted you to be a professional teacher.
Yes. So in the family, because we didn't have anything, so I was told that I could be sponsored for my higher education if I was going to become a teacher. If not, then I wouldn't get that support. So I refused, and
Why?
I never got that support. Because they are teachers, and it looks like it's the safest thing to do at the time. And I didn't want to become a teacher. I wanted to be a journalist through and through. That was the only thing. By the way, it's been the only career that I've always wanted to be in.
Sure.
And I chose it at primary school level. So from back then, I knew exactly what I wanted to become.
How did you know about journalism? I mean, growing up in rural areas, I don't think it was such a career that you were exposed to.
I think I was blessed. I think I'm one of the few people that are blessed to have lived in the same area and the same villages with Baba Sam Zima. May his soul rest in peace. So we grew up with him, and all the stories were told about him.
Yes.
He was a big thing. We know he took that famous June 16 picture. So to us, to live with him when people are talking about him out there, it was like an experience. So to me, it was like a career that I wanted to do. So he played a huge role in my life, and he made me, without telling me, to choose journalism. And from primary school, I worked right through to become a journalist. I mean, I worked for close to 20 years as a journalist. So in print, radio, television, I've done it all, and I'm happy. I still love it.
Yeah.
And I think even now, I'm on the other side of the same career.
Sure. And talking about your experience in different spaces in media, looking back now, where's your family? Like, what do they think of the journey that you've taken and the path that you have chosen? Are they supportive, or were they supportive eventually?
Yeah, you know, it's a very difficult one for them.
Yeah.
It was difficult to understand because even with my teachers, when I said I wanted to be a journalist, I was told you're going to die. I said it's fine if I die in the line of duty. And by the way, the teacher I said this to is now a school principal. He has been for maybe past 30 years or so. He still cannot believe that what I said I wanted to do,
You're still doing. You're still doing.
So my family, well, they are growing up with me like this. They've had to do, even my wife, I mean, she needed to understand that my attention span naturally is very short.
Yeah.
I do this thing and move to the next thing, but also working odd hours. We like that. We work on a Friday when everyone is rushing for the weekend. We come back to work on Saturday or Sunday when everyone else is still resting.
Yes, yes.
But we also travel. So all of those things are things that the family has had to understand. And even in the current job, it remains the same. So I think I'm that type of person that you can't lock me down in an office and say, you are here from 8 to 4:30. I'm not that.
Sure.
So I'm blessed to still be in a position where I'm able to express myself
Yes.
in the way that I do without any restrictions, because that's me. That's how I have been.
This is a bit of a contradiction because, I mean, you're a public figure and a lot has been said about you in media. A lot is known about you in the media, except one thing.
What's
the
that?
part that you just mentioned now, your family. You never speak about your family or your kids or anything. Why is it important for you to keep your private life private?
Whew, yeah, that's a difficult question. I'm a public figure. The private life is private.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, I've never wanted my family to be affected by the things that I do.
Yeah.
I know I work in a risky environment. I work in a political environment, stressful environment. So I'm being scrutinized every time, wherever I go, whatever I do. So I don't want them to be associated with the things that I do, you know, because when I do something right, someone believes it's wrong. When I do something wrong, someone will want to defend me when other people say it's wrong. So, I mean, I've gone through a lot in the public, as you indicate, but I've always wanted the kids to be protected, even the wife to be protected, so that they're not immediately associated with me.
And you're doing an absolutely great job.
So that, thank you. So that I become me, you know, deal with me and everything that I can. So don't judge them because of me, or don't judge me because of them. So I just wanted, but it's also a matter of branding, you know. I want you to look at me and deal with me as a person that you see, rather than think of me in the context of the people around me. I don't want that. I believe that I should be my own person, and so that, you know.
And people must respect your own space.
Absolutely,
create boundaries.
And you also find situations where people go through your family to get to you, because you expose them and all of those things. I mean, it's not like I'm hiding them. I'm not hiding them. But now
they know you love them.
You know, I love them. We take pictures and we share them.
Yes.
I said, no, you can share, it's fine, but I won't share.
Yes.
Because I don't want. I mean, I want to focus on my job. I'm committed to what I'm doing, but I'm committed to you too. But let's try keep the two a little bit separate, so that you are safe and I'm safe. You still have a long life ahead of you. You're still going to do a lot of things, but be your own person as well. You must have your own name, not that you are
writing on your
I don't want that. They need to be able to stand on their own feet.
I like that. You're always a very opinionated person, and this speaks to why between 1993 and 1995 you went to study at the Natal University. You studied political science. So I think politics were just, you know, embedded in you. Do you always feel like you need to say something? Because this is the perception that we have about politics, that politics is about saying anything to anyone at any time.
Yeah, you know, let me tell you how I got into this politics thing. I'm not a political person, and I always tell people that I'm not political. And I know it sounds crazy. Because you expect that, no, come on, but you work with politicians. Yes,
but is it a general view that we are all political beings? I mean, we live in a democratic country.
You know what's happening? People expect me to be actively like involved in politics.
But you were involved in SARS when you were studying.
I said to them, how I got into it is that I wanted to do journalism.
Yes.
And the University of Natal did not have journalism at the time.
Yes.
I had wanted to go to Rhodes. Rhodes turned me down. I said, it's fine, I'll go where I'm admitted. So I went, which I think it was a great decision, by the way. Then I had to choose subjects for my BA degree.
Yes.
So I chose political science and economic history, and it taught me a lot. I mean, I was aware of the political events in the country. I mean, we knew a lot already. Just the exposure to SEMZI was telling us a story about the activism of young people like Hector Peterson and others. So where I didn't study it, I didn't study politics so that I could go into politics.
I
studied politics so that I could understand, so that it could enhance my journalism.
Yeah, and how did it shape your journalism? Because when you were at University of Natal, you were involved in Dome newspaper.
Yeah.
You then went to Durban Youth Radio.
Yes.
And then Sasco.
Yeah.
As a cherry on top there. But how has that fusion impacted your media skills in terms of merging politics and being active in such media spaces?
Yeah, you're reminding me of things of many years ago. so Sasco, I was there because the people that I worked with were leaders in Sasco.
Yes.
And we needed to work very close. But also remember, we were at the university just before 94, at the time of transition. So we had our own challenges as students on campus. So we needed to work together to transform our own environment.
Sure.
So I worked with people like Bopanyaza, Bosputla, Bomenzi Simelane, they were there as well, Vusma Tonsela, they were there, who have become well-known administrators now.
I guess it was the right time for a person to be there because
it was the right time.
They would have rubbed in.
so and many others, was Sam Tobachale, there's a lot. Some of them became mayors and other things. So we were working together, but that was on the media side.
Yeah.
But they were on the political side with Sasco and SRC. So I was in that mix. So it was difficult for me to divorce myself from Sasco.
Yes.
I attended Sasco meetings.
Yes.
I attended Sasco branch meetings. I was there inside.
Oh,
but for me, it was not so much to take the political mandate, but to understand the challenges that we are facing as a part of a broader movement of transforming the country.
And understanding the times that you guys were in. I mean,
especially understanding the times we're in, and my role as a progressive media person at the time. We needed to report the news in a manner that would take the country forward. So it came from that, but it wasn't really, because I had this idea that I will never join a political organization because I'm a journalist. I need to try stay pure in that way that I don't have my allegiance anywhere. Try be a fair journalist, understanding where you stand in terms of the political dynamics. I never lost sight of that. The consciousness was always there to say, so we here, and this is where we're going, and this is the kind of coverage that I must give, understanding the context. And by the way, even though I wasn't really a card-carrying member, I actually did most of the propaganda machinery for Sasco. In fact, I used to work overnight. You can ask Bopanyaza, they will tell you who used to sit there in the computer room. I was the one operating the computers and writing things. You would wake up in the morning, the sun coming up, you find there are posters all over campus.
This thing has been in you, man. This thing has been in you.
I've been doing it for a long time, and these are stories that are never told, by the way. Things that people don't know I did, but you can ask people like Kennedy Bunga, who's now the CEO of African Bank. He will tell you the things that I used to do. So I played my part. And we didn't, all of us need to be in Sasco, by the way. Some of us needed to be the journalists, at Dome, as you say, at Durban Youth Radio. But continue.
Understood the mandate and the mission. Exactly. Your journey then continued, your academic journey continued. I mean, you say you went to Rhodes, but then you also went to Wits to study development communications.
Of course.
What is that? I mean, we always, think communications is communications, but...
initially I had wanted to study journalism at Rhodes, because Rhodes was the university that was doing journalism and offering journalism to young people. But they didn't admit me, so I never went there. I said, I'll go to the University of Natal, but work in campus media, which is where I really got my training from people like Bo Lumkom Team, Bo JP Low, Bo Stain Speed, all of these people that are big.
Jeez, you're exposing my age.
Stain Speed was a strategist, a communication strategist in the ANC for a very long time. Lumkom Team, that we know him, was the CEO of MDDA, and he was advised until recently to President Cyril Ramaphosa as a special advisor as well. JP is now back at the Department of Arts and Culture as advisor to the Minister of Arts and Culture. Those are the people that trained us, and many others. The list is long. But coming into government, you needed to understand that you are not a journalist anymore. So here you are a communication strategist, you now need to think how you convey the messages to the people.
Yes.
Because you are no longer reporting, but you generate the messages.
Yes.
So development communication is an interesting concept because it says nothing about the people without them, but also understand what their needs are. You need to do stakeholder analysis.
Yes.
Where they are at right now, what concerns them the most.
Yes.
As a government, how then do you communicate with them so that they understand the challenges you're facing, how you will overcome them, and how you're involving them in the things that you're doing. And we used to give examples and say, you'll go to a village school, you bring computers and they steal them. It's because you misunderstood what their pressing needs are. They don't want computers, they want jobs.
Sure.
So if you create employment in that place and everyone is working, then you are dealing with the employment issue.
Yes.
People can feed themselves.
Yes.
When
They'll
you
take
bring
care of the
computers,
staff.
then they appreciate that,
Yeah.
okay, now we're going somewhere.
Sure.
So some of the social problems that we are facing are happening because as a government, sometimes we are misreading what people need at that time. So development communication says to you, go engage members of the community, find out from them what they need, then you come back, you develop your programs that will address their needs. So so that's important for one to understand it from that communication science point of view.
Sure.
So that's why I went there and I did that course, and I would recommend it for anyone who wants to work in the public sector.
Yes.
Without it, you won't go very far. It doesn't matter where you are in your career. In the public sector, you still need to go do that course. It won't take you much, probably a year.
Yeah.
And then you'll have a different perspective. There's a lot that I changed at the department after going there that I learned.
Very interesting.
I became a different person.
Very interesting because I think you joined the department in 2015.
2012.
2012.
10 years.
Oh, okay. It's been 10 years already. Jeez. And you've been praised in the media to say you're one of the best spokesperson that the department has ever had. I'm not sure you also got those comments, because we hardly talk about those. But the interesting thing is what everybody always talks about, that you've been bashed a lot in media because of your opinions. And that one campaign, the Read to Learn campaign that made you so famous, that everyone wanted to read about what you're doing. And, you've been classified as a sexist and all these other words. How do you deal with media bashing, Black Twitter? How do you deal with such things? Do they get into you?
Yeah, it would be dishonest of me if I said it doesn't affect you. Yeah. It does. That August 2019.
Yes.
It's funny that you are in the month of August.
Yes, and it was just...
it was the most challenging period in my life. I just did not understand what was happening. Yeah. I don't want to go a lot into it, but I think that
what has it taught you?
I was misunderstood. It taught me that don't believe everything that you see, whether it's media or social media, especially if it's print media or if it's something that is written. Yeah. If I'm not speaking myself, someone says what they say I said. Yeah. Then you need to read that maybe 5 times.
But one would say if you then apologize, it means you admit to what you said and you felt it was wrong and you apologized.
No, I did. I did for a variety of reasons. You see, sometimes you don't need to fight. You just apologize.
Become the bigger person.
Yeah, they say you become a bigger person. I learned a lot of things about people, but I learned a lot of things about people's media consumption habits. I sent 18 images and only 3 were deemed to be wrong. And these 3 were out of context. So out of context, they looked wrong. But in context,
the messaging,
other people, I had a lot of people, even today, I still have people who stop me and say, you did nothing wrong. People just misunderstood you. Yeah. We saw everything. We saw the whole picture. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things. And someone just went and extracted this and then painted it. Yeah, but in context, everything made sense. So the country was divided. Yeah. There were people who said, you know what, please come address our book club. We think you are doing a great job in promoting reading. Yes. On the other side, in the same day, someone else is saying he must be fired. Yeah. And you look at it now, the same campaign is still up and running. It's still ongoing. In fact, I think for me, that incident had a lot of benefits. For me personally, in my career, in terms of bringing attention to me, and for people to always follow the things that I say,
Yes.
and rely on me in terms of the department's communication, because I still have a lot of people who say, we see there's a media statement there,
Yeah.
but if we don't see it in your platforms,
Then we don't trust.
We don't trust it.
Yeah.
So, and that was not the case before. So you also find a situation where big media organizations have turned notifications on what I say.
Yes.
So when I post something, immediately there's a reaction.
Yes.
Which
yes.
means they are now following me like very closely to
Sure.
see what I'm saying.
Sure.
And that has benefited the department, it has benefited the public even
Yes,
more.
yes.
Because now people see that I'm a reliable source of information.
Yes.
Not just about the department, but about the entire
Education.
sector.
Yes. Yes.
So I choose to look at things from that point of view. Yes, I was hurt at some point to see that some people turned against me and all of those things. But
It's
I mean,
life.
It's life, but you know, also people were easily swayed by the noise and they followed that. And I don't blame anyone.
Yeah.
I mean, I've moved on a long time ago.
Sure.
I don't really mind it, but I appreciate the support at the time from the minister who supported me, and the DG supported me, and I mean, it was just amazing. So yeah, it was quite a challenging one.
I can imagine, because it teaches you more about yourself and
Absolutely,
also how you deal with
about
people.
Absolutely.
How has your experience been working at the Department of Basic Education?
No, it's I'm blessed. You know, I'm blessed. I always tell people that I don't know if other people enjoy the type of support and space that I'm in.
Sure.
In their own departments. I have unlimited access to the minister, to the deputy minister, to the director general, to all managers. We work well, we support each other, and they trust the work that I do. I come up with suggestions and they take them.
Support, yeah.
And I think I represent them well as well.
Yes.
And I learn a lot. I mean, I apply myself to the things that they do. I walk to people's desks to find out what they are doing.
Yes.
I'm always in their meetings. They can see that I'm interested and I'm not slowing down. You know, I'm not slowing down because they're motivating me, but I think I'm also motivating them to do what they're supposed to do. I defend those that must be defended, expose that must be those that must be exposed. It's a big system.
Yes, yes.
But I think we also need to be honest. Where people don't do their work, people don't do their work. But at DBE, I have never had that sense. I mean, there we understand that the 9 provinces are looking up to us to do the right thing. So I believe there we have the right team of people that are doing what they're supposed to do in terms of policy development, monitoring and supporting provinces. Because it's a big system, as I'm saying, and the provinces are not the same.
Yes.
Others are less resourced than others, so challenges are more likely to come. But sometimes it's just pure laziness which we can't allow to thrive. So those officials, we then come close to them and tell them to do what they're supposed to do. And we always remind people that at the end of the day, it's not about you, it's about South Africans. So the space has allowed me to grow. The minister has allowed me to express myself in terms of the ideas that I bring to improve the communication there. So I'm really
absolutely enjoy. You know, they always say that you must, if you enjoy what you do, it doesn't feel like work. You know,
that's how I feel.
Your job doesn't feel like a job and a chore that, you know, but it takes working with an incredible team, and people may look at you as the face of the department, but you work with an incredible team of communicators throughout, you know, the country. How does it feel like working with such people? Do they make your job seamless? Or you feel like, you know, there's parts where they fail you? No,
you know, it's also not their fault where I feel like they're failing me, because they are not at the core of service delivery. They communicate what is supposed to be delivered by their colleagues.
Yes.
So our function is to communicate. Yes, from DBE point of view, sometimes I also influence some of the things that we do because it's our duty at national office. But, you know, without the guys from provinces, it would be very difficult. It's a large sector with 14 million children and 25,000 schools. And 9 provinces, 75 districts, 889 circuit offices
Sure.
with 400,000 teachers.
You're basically the largest employer in the country.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So with that, you really need a cohesive communication system.
Yeah.
And they're doing a great job. I mean, I always tell them that, guys, I respect you at provincial level, because you need to know every detail, every
Hands-on.
school, every learner,
Hands-on.
every teacher, because when something goes wrong, you are expected to answer.
Sure.
So they're doing a great job against odds, and I really pay homage to them. It's a big task that they have.
Nice one. What is your one highlight working at the Department of Basic Education? If you were to have one moment or something that has ever happened that you feel in these 10 years of you being at the department has been like one of your greatest highlights.
That's a very difficult question. There's a lot. There's a lot, but I think maybe two things. One was for the minister to say, we need to create a campaign. Please give it a name.
Yeah.
And I came up with the name Read to Lead. Boom. And it's running since 2015 July.
Sure.
I can't believe it. Then 2018, the minister says she wants to create a special purpose intervention to address the issue of pit latrines and appropriate sanitation. So again, I named it SAFE. So and when the minister and the presidency went to cabinet and cabinet said SAFE, I read it in a cabinet statement. I couldn't believe it. Wow, So I've named these national presidential projects.
Sure.
And as people name them, and everyone's talking about the SAFE initiative, and I look at it.
I'm the man behind the
one
name.
that gave it that name. Because I wanted a name that had a message.
Yes.
To say, so it's safe, but it says sanitation appropriate for education.
Sure. Safe. Yeah.
But what is the overall objective? Safe sanitation.
And that's what it's all about.
Exactly.
Listen, if I want a name for something, I'm going to come to you. You seem to be very good with the names.
Thank you.
Now you've moved on, you've got your own show where you unpack issues. Elijah Unpacks.
Yes.
What's that all about?
It came out of frustration, one, but two, also the availability of technology.
Yeah.
And the fact that technology is not as expensive as it used to be a long time ago.
Yes, yes.
And the realization that with what you have, you can make something big.
Yes, yes.
So I thought, okay, because one, I'm frustrated that people misunderstand us and that issues that people keep talking about that I feel could be clarified. I was frustrated that I would wait for some TV station to invite me to go there.
To come and talk.
I thought to myself that create your own environment.
Yes.
So I created my own television space.
Yes.
Where I now do these via videos, and of course my YouTube channel is there. And I urge people to go to it and subscribe and get the benefit of what we are saying there, because it's unlimited, unscripted. By the way, it's unscripted.
Sure.
I just talk there.
It's incredible because of the vast knowledge that you have. It really shows that you're a subject expert in the field that you're in. I mean, the things that you talk about, people must just go to your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Apart from all of that, this show, we want to answer a big question.
Yeah.
Why education? You could be doing other things, but here you are. You've invested all your efforts, all your time and energy in education, communicating about education, supporting educational initiatives.
Education is the foundation of life for me. It's the foundation of any society. If you get it right, then you are going to fly. It doesn't matter how poor you might be as a country.
Yes.
But if you get the education system right, then 80 to 90% of all your problems are out of the window. So for me, it's something that I'm passionate about. Someone was saying that when the minister started in 2009, a child was walking into grade 1, and this year that child is in matric. And then I thought, wow, so you actually see life when it starts.
Sure.
Now with ECD having come to basic education, it basically means that we take a child from birth, we walk throughout their life with them for at least 12, 13, even 14 years until they're born. And when they exit, we can actually assess ourselves to say, how far have we gone to molding this individual into a person who will become something. Yeah. So that's why even this read to lead thing, we are saying, if you can read, you are more likely to be a leader in life, because readers are leaders.
Yes.
Read to lead.
Yeah.
So it's just that unique opportunity in life to take part in shaping the life of the future South Africans.
The
So
future
to
that
me,
we
I think
can create.
I think it's a special thing that, and I never lose sight of that. Every time when we make a policy, I think about it to say, so I'm really taking part in this thing,
Sure.
which is going to shape the direction of this country.
Millions
It
are going to be
feels
impacted.
so it feels special to be in that
You're a
group
contributor.
of the ministers'
Yeah.
team where we say this is now a policy that we are deciding on. So it's, to me, it's just that special thing of being part of that team.
It's indeed a blessing because, I mean, your family wanted you to be a teacher, but now you develop policies even for teachers. So it's amazing. And you actually reminded me of my own story that when the minister took over, I was doing matric, you know?
Oh, okay,
but look at me
stuff.
now.
Yeah.
Lastly, Mr. Mhlanga,
Yeah.
you know, me and you can have this conversation
For 8 hours.
until. How would you like to be remembered if you one day even leave the department or leave this earth as somebody that has invested so much into our nation and different people's lives, how you've impacted them? How would you like us to remember you?
Yeah, maybe as someone who played his part to fix the education system in the country and to explain the complexities of a transforming society. Because for some reason South Africans believe we've arrived, we haven't.
Sure.
I always say it took Singapore 50 years to move from the bottom to the top. We have a long way to go still, so we must not beat ourselves too hard on many things.
Yes.
But I would like people to know that at some point in the transformation of this country, there was also this guy who did his part to explain the changing and dynamic nature of the country. At one point where this country was trying to battle with the merging of 18 education administrations into one and making people understand the complexities and the difficulties of doing that, and that he did his best, got into trouble in that effort,
Yes.
but continued to fight anyway for people to understand that they too have a role to play, that they must not divorce themselves from the project of transforming the country.
Sure. And on behalf of this very same country and TEARED and To Enable and DBE we appreciate you. We appreciate the work that you're doing, the spaces that you've created, and the work that you've been communicating, how it has shaped our lives and contributed into our nation. So keep on being victorious.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Well, guys, you've heard it for yourselves. Mr. Elijah Mhlanga has joined us today, who is doing an incredible work at the Department of Basic Education, currently serving as a Chief Director in Media Liaison for National as well as Provincial Communication. He's been a very incredible person who is inspirational, that you can follow even on Twitter. Follow the Department of Basic Education to see what kind of programs and work is being done. It's easy for us to sit back and always point fingers and say, this is what is not going right, but you can take an opportunity for yourselves and take an initiative by following and learning what the department does and contribute to what the department is doing. Up until next time, if you missed any of our shows, make sure that you catch them on our YouTube channel, DBE TV. From us and the rest of the team, goodbye.